What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and as you may know, there is currently a monolith on the Battle Royale island. I mean, as we look over here, you can see a monolith right there with a glowing number on top of it, actually. Well, so we'll definitely have to check that out later in today's video, but in today's video, we're going to be telling you about what's going on with the monolith, how it's been teased IRL, and how Daft Punk is officially going to be coming to the game very, very soon. So without further ado, let's go into everything you need to know in the newest content update, or I guess newest just bit of news for Fortnite that is kind of out there. So firstly, earlier today we got this image taken in real life by a few people over in France. After I eliminate this person, I'll go ahead and properly credit them because, you know, I have to pull up their names. Drank Vivo, Hatsune Dash, and of course, you know, Shino is one of the people who publicly kind of like shared it, spread the word a little bit more, but it does mention this date of September 27th. Now, of course, you know, they do a different time format, so if you're from America, it's not the 27th month and the 9th day, it is the 27th day of the 9th month, right? You know, it's just different time zone, or I guess different regions do the time and date stuff a little bit differently. But it is talking about September 27th, which is in around 6 days from the time you're recording this video. It mentions one more time, which is, you know, is basically like the lyrics of one of the songs. It goes ahead and mentions some other stuff, harder, better, faster, stronger, Fortnite once again, and then this 20 HOO thing. Now, I don't really think the 20 HOO, 20 ho, or whatever else, maybe I'm uninformed, maybe it's actually something, but I don't think it's related to anything. I think it's just, you know, kind of like the branding from the company who's kind of working on putting this out there. You know, it's called the Daft Punk Experience. We have this nice little experience logo kind of going on towards the top there, but it is talking about a lot of stuff happening September 27th. And then there's a QR code. Now, I know some people are probably curious, what happens if you scan the QR code? Well, I'll let you know now, it doesn't really show you anything. It just gives you a little like event calendar thing that you can go ahead and add to your phone. So, you know, it tells you, hey, it's going to be starting on September 27th. It does mention that it looks like this actual experience is going to be a 15-minute long thing. So like the typical concert time, you know, it's not going to be like a bajillion years in length or anything like that. We don't know if you'll be able to go back into it once it goes live or whatever, but it is a pretty informative image. You know, it gives us a little bit more hype, and it does confirm whatever's going on the 27th is actually going to be Daft Punk. But with that said, why does this have to relate to a whole entire monolith on the island? Well, as you guys can see, as we get closer over here, this monolith has text on top of it, and you might be able to see it from that far away. I'm not for sure if YouTube compresses it or anything too much, but it says 0927, which is September 27th once again, the exact same date that was seen in the in real life teasers in France. So it just makes sense that this monolith and everything else is connected, other than the leaks we've had before for Stride Mice literally being Daft Punk, you know, in previous updates, and the fact that we know that there's two skins using that Stride Mice codename. So it's going to be interesting to see how this experience actually happens, how it goes live, and all the other stuff. But as we get closer here, something you may notice is that the monolith actually is a lot more decorated right now. We can go ahead and get close to it. You can see this glow going on the left side. We got like this silver. On the right side we got some gold, which does kind of match the aesthetics of Daft Punk and everything else they're kind of known for, at least in terms of the actual outfit choices. And then as we get closer and closer, this monolith is going to shine more and more until we get this little like triangular opening towards the bottom that I think you'll be able to go into and get sucked into maybe a concert, maybe an experience, whatever they want to call it. Not for sure if it would cue you into a new match at all, but it does appear like whatever's happening with this monolith, you know, whatever's going to end up occurring on the 27th with Daft Punk and the monolith and everything else is going to have an opening towards the bottom that you'll be able to actually go into, and it should teleport you to another place. I assume something's going to get decrypted, like, you know, event files or something like that, unless they're just going to have it made in UEFN in a way where it's one of those events that take place with UEFN files, so they don't need to encrypt anything, but it gets, you know, added to the Battle Royale map or everything on the 27th when it all goes live, you know, somewhere off in the distance or really high in the sky like we've seen them do for previous events. But yeah, Daft Punk is going to be coming to Fortnite very soon. It is confirmed there's going to be skins, wraps, back blings, all that type of stuff, even instrument cosmetics as well, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for everything going on there, and keep in mind, on the 27th is when that monolith is going to activate. Now, on the link I mentioned before that was in the QR code of the image, it did mention something that about like a blog post that was supposed to go live, and it did mention maybe it was supposed to go live like an hour before the event actually officially starts. Not for sure how they're actually going to be doing it, but if you're someone who's not going to be able to make it to the event on the 27th, it's also confirmed from that link that it appears they're going to be having a live stream for people to watch along when it happens, instead of just having a thing where it's like, oh, you know, you gotta wait for a YouTuber to upload their footage of it or something like that. Definitely be checking it out on the 27th. I'm curious to see how they actually activate all of it, and I think it's pretty cool that the monolith has just kind of like been there on the island this whole time, with, you know, them slowly building up for this full experience. And to add on to the whole UEFN thing as like a final part of this video, we do know that originally there was going to be a Stride Mice codenamed playlist ID, which was actually going to be like a UEFN creative map or something like that, but then they changed the gameplay tags to mention that it was going to be on Battle Royale. So it makes me wonder, was it originally going to just be a UEFN thing, and then they decided to expand it to be its own experience added into the normal game, similar to how we've had previous concerts before, like we had in the Chapter 2 remix, or, you know, the Travis Scott concert, or any of those old ones. Who really knows? But I definitely think it's going to be an interesting thing to see go live. Until next time, however, I hope champs and chambits enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you all tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out.